Is that it? I think
Yeah,
we're
sure. I
live.
thought it was the back entrance.
Someone's gonna have to tell us if this is working now, because
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
I've just heard the voices from above to tell us we're live. So, hello everyone. This is the Beernomicon live for the first time. I'm Ross, and we're talking to Donzoko Reece today.
hello.
How's it going,
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, sound. How are
Tom?
you?
I'm good. Tom should be joining us soon. He decided to have a nap about 2 hours ago and just forgot that this was happening. He didn't. He forgot that we were talking to the premier lager brewer in the country right now. But
I mean, I know this is a bit of a ramshackle production, but I expected a certain level of professionality from the team here.
I mean, this is the best sound quality we've probably ever had at Beernomicon. So I
Yeah,
assume.
I mean, one thing.
Right, what should we go? What we're drinking first?
Yeah, I'm drinking. What are you drinking? Sorry.
Some little brewery called Donzoko, Northern Helles. But I've got the Stein to go. Is this too?
Oh,
Is this too much?
what brand is it?
Griffin Claw sounds like something out of Harry Potter, but Bamberg.
Hamburg. Don't know. I've never been.
Bamberg. We walked up a big hill in like 30-degree weather in Germany.
Oh, Bamberg. I thought it said Hamburg.
Bamberg.
Okay, cool. I'm drinking a big foam. The last can that I have. Oh.
Yeah. So you haven't got any big phone now. So we wanted to talk to you basically about obviously the changes that have happened, how the world's pretty much changed over the past month or so.
Yeah.
And we've seen a little bit online about how that's affecting breweries and small businesses, bottle shops and the like. So wanted to get a little chat about that and the changes you've had to put in for the brewery and how it's affected Donzoko and production wise and all that stuff. So don't want to go too
Yeah.
deep into it, like, or too serious. But obviously, it's an issue that's going to affect breweries not just for a month or so, but obviously years into the future. Like about what the change is going to come from this and having to like get better from this and learn from it. So what was like the first thing you saw really that had to change from Donzoko with this whole?
Well, because it's just me who does everything. Like I was just in the day to day, sort of delivering beer, selling beer, delivering beer, making beer. And I was kind of following it a bit on the news, but like I maybe didn't have my ears pricked up to it as much as other people did. And so it kind of came all at once. So I was like, oh shit. I was midway through like brewing a batch of Hellas on the Monday that everything happened. It seemed that week where everything changed. And I was like, oh shit, this is really serious. Like, what am I going to do? But obviously, I make mainly lagers. So I thought, okay, I can leave beers in tank for however many weeks. Like, I can just get what I'm owed and kind of work it out that way. But yeah, it's like literally all the revenue from all my customers stopped pretty much overnight. So it was very much chaos of what should I do? Should I open a web shop? Should I just close down for a bit? How much money's in the bank account to let me last? How long is it going to last? What support can I get? And that's just literally what I've been doing the last 2 weeks or so.
Because it was like 4 or 5 day period where we all kind of kicked off in the UK mostly, where every day was different, every day was changing. Pubs and bars didn't know what was happening and what they should do and that, and we were getting mixed messages from a lot of people. So you felt like I said, that first week was just kind of a bit of a mess for everyone, I guess. So how did you how did you cope with that week then? Because obviously it's stressful enough as it is, even if you weren't in this industry and working for yourself and that.
Yeah, just kind of come to terms with the fact that all my wholesale, which is all of my business, I don't sell direct to customers. It will be just turned off. So kind of planning how long I can last, what things I can use and turn on to help money coming in to keep the business kind of afloat. So I kind of had this little brainwave that I could sell some beer online, but which is really obvious. But obviously I've got loads of retailers who also need to sell beer, and I don't want to undercut them. Like, I could go and sell Helles for £2 a can, but
Yeah.
who's winning out of that? I'm just gonna like piss on all my customers fire, and I might get some good business, but then when it's all over, my retailers they still need to sell beer. So I thought I could maybe kind of enrich the offering I've got. So I rang up some friends. So they're all businesses I've worked with previously. So like Block and Bottle, the butchers and bottle shop. I was organising a festival with them called Blocktoberfest. We've got all the kind of posters and stuff done. So that's kind of gone to the back burner a bit. But they make a lot of charcuterie, and beer and cured meat goes really well together. So I bought a bottle of that for the online shop. There's a tea company who I was looking to buy some tea for to do a beer with that are next door, and I know that guy really well. So bought some stock of his tea, Rountain Coffee, which are coffee roasters down near where I live. I've brewed a beer with them, so I was like, okay, I'll get some of their coffee put on the site. I got my mate to design some t-shirts, my other mate to print them. So it's kind of spreading the revenue in everyone's pockets as well, which is pretty nice. So it's kind of, and it's a good positive message. So I put it up as like, I've got a prop, all tight. There's Donzoko and friends.
Nice.
So they're the friends, and I'm Donzoko.
You're Donald Zoko.
The caption is drink lager and be kind, because
Nice.
it's just a nice little wholesome thing in it.
Yeah, like everyone's kind of worried in that, but it doesn't mean you have to be a dickhead about it, and you can still help.
Sure. And a lot of people have been, and I'm watching you.
Well, speaking of dickheads, Tom has finally joined us.
Hey.
Hello, Tom.
How
are you doing?
I'm alright. I've just been asleep all afternoon.
It's not like you at all.
No, it's not. I'm normally up and about.
What are you drinking?
Nothing. I need to go get a drink.
Okay.
I did just want to chime in on that drink lager and be kind kind of phrase. In my experience, especially growing up, it's never been drink lager and be kind.
No.
It's usually drink lager and be a cunt. Are you trying to remarket lager?
Yeah, because like you can just have a couple of nice lagers and not go off the chain. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like a thing you drink 12 of on a Friday night and then now Monday through Thursday. Like you can just have a couple every night and not be put a raj about it. That's my take home message.
You don't have to be a lager lout. You can just enjoy it.
Regular lout.
Chill.
Oh, so if people want to send him questions as well, I'm seeing the comments. So we've seen like comments from Lee and Luke and Mr. Pellicle, Mag himself, Jonathan Hamilton. So if you want to send us a question for Reece, either tweet us or go on the YouTube, and you can like send messages on. I think it's this side, that box there, on the other side.
You mentioned in terms of beer production, and that's been a bit complicated. So like, I have a tank of Helles, and I've got loads of kegs already kegged up, like literally packaged like 2 weeks ago. So there's no point of me packaging loads of Helles. So I sent like during the data rest phase, so it pretty much already attenuated or like become fully alcoholic and cleaned up. I sent like 15 hectoliters to different barrels and different tanks with different mixed cultures in. Just to set like what happens, because I've got a couple of months now. Might as well make something cool. So I've got brewing another mixed time saison on what Wednesday or something. I don't know. It's Sunday, innit? But yeah. So that's something I can take away for a couple of months. I'm brewing a new lager as well. That's going to get. So what I'm going to do is one beer release a month.
What to sell on the web shop, basically.
Yeah, just on the web shop. Just like the next one will be Big Foam Mark III in like 2 weeks' time. So what I'm going to sell loads of that and do full cases, deliver to people's houses. That should be all right.
So what have you got like too much beer to basically sell with the web shop at the moment? Then though, like, obviously you had like full tanks when all this happened, and
Luckily, in my tanks, when all this kind of happened, I packaged loads of beer in kegs, which now can't move anywhere. But I've got 2 mixed ferm saisons that were fruited last August with some like whole fruit down from Kent, and they're tasting pretty good. So they're going to get packaged in bottles Tuesday. I've got a tank full of big foam, which is getting packaged in 2 weeks' time. Some Helles that's just going to live in there and be lagered forever. Yeah, it's a shame I didn't have a lot of can stock when it all happened. So I have Helles cans, and now that's about it until big foam is back on the scene. I did a few collabs, so I managed to ring all those breweries and get them to send me beer to sell on the web shop. So like one was the Braybrook collab and the Vienna Lager, and that launched like pretty much like exclusively on like my web shop, the Braybrook web shop, and the Beer Craft web shop for London deliveries. So that was kind of a beer launch that happened only on web shops, which is very 2020, I would say. Very 2020.
Yeah, we've seen a few already where it's like, I think Chapter just canned their first beer and released it last week, and it's like, obviously that would have been a big fanfare. We've seen a lot of it in bottle shops and pubs and that, but it's kind of it just took a back foot now, on it, and you just feel bad for all these brewers and bars and that they're just bringing out new stuff and they still got to pay the bills and that, and you're stuck just having to just tweet about it, and that's about it basically.
So yeah, there's a lot of people just trying to keep the brand alive, with not much to do, to be honest.
So we got our first question. Jonathan Hamilton. How is Big Foam performing compared to Helles these days? Is it exceeding your expectations, and what do you prefer these days?
Well, yeah, because like it was beer I kind of made just for the crack. I just wanted the beer that had the biggest head I could try and make. So I read some articles and listened to some podcasts with some guy I can't remember the name of. Was it Charlie Bamford? The guy who called the Pope of Foam. Like, he's great. And I kind of put all the techniques in, and it was a beer I wanted to make for a while. It was just kind of really kind of like a pilsner, but really Venus, I don't know, Venus, grapey, and with a big head on it, a bit like if Taras Bulba was a lager sort of thing, really bitter. It's performing kind of really well. The first batch in cans, the fastest beer I had to sell out, which was pretty good because I don't really sell beer that fast. The second batch was I kegged it, and then everything happened. So that's still in my brewery in the cold store. The third batch is tasting absolutely bang on, and that's in tank. It's getting packaged in 2 weeks' time for that web shop sale.
Still majority packaging like stuff you're doing is just Helles now. Then obviously that's kind of what Donzoko's known for the most right now. But obviously like Big Foam and this Braybrook collab and Black Mask, which is banging as well. What's on that level with Big Foam and Helles then?
Up until about 2 months ago, if you asked me, it would have all been about Helles and maybe Graft, which is our Belgian pale. And Graft sells pretty good. People quite like it. I really like it. However, I prefer Big Foam now. So Helles and Big Foam for me are kind of just like, I want a Big Foam to almost be like the Zinner beer to Taras Bulba. So like the same sort of idea of unfiltered German style lager, but with a slightly different take, slightly more bitter, hoppier in terms of Whirlpool hops. It's also got like the can label, which is a bit of a meme. Honestly, I prefer Big Foam now. Gonna say it. I still love Helles, obviously, but it's just what I'm into drinking right now, especially with it getting kind of springtime. Helles is because it's a little bit sweeter, because it's a bit richer. It's good when it's a bit colder, but sun comes out. Big Foam.
James Beerfiner General asks, just wondering how many breweries Reece thinks won't come back after all this, assuming we've got 2 to 3 months of lockdown to go.
It's something I really don't want to kind of getting into too much because every brewery has its own kind of financial situation. You could have the best brewery in the world making the best beer, but if your cash flow wasn't amazing 2 weeks ago, not through no fault of your own, it's just where your chips lie when that card was dealt, that the pub's closing. Like if you're at a point where you just expanded, you just take on all the debt and you can't get a break from that. It's gonna be a really tough time, I think. Luckily, I was in a position where I just bought some new tanks from Chapter actually, so I can pay off that invoice. I've been talking for a while about getting a bigger brewery setup and stuff, and if I'd have done that 2 months ago, I'd been a lot more in the shit right now than I actually am. So I'm kind of grateful, and I really feel for the breweries that have expanded recently, or the ones who haven't got small pack lines. It's really tough. So I think some might decide to call it quits, but I don't know. And it's something you don't even want to talk about really, because it's not my place or anything, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's different for you as well because you're kind of like a one-man band at the moment still.
Also, I live at home, so I live with my parents. I think I'm the only brewery in the UK who's all their employees live with the parents.
I don't think it's just breweries that we need to be concerned about as well. That obviously there's going to be a lot of bottle shops and bars and pubs.
Yeah,
I think come the end of this, there's going to be a lot of empty spaces that are going to need filling, and it's going to be on the government to give a decent business rates for new businesses starting up and having to fill those spaces.
And a lot of breweries I've talked to, well, including mine, like the government grant scheme doesn't apply to. So I rent as part of a big centre owned by the council, and they assess rates based on the whole centre with 40 businesses, and then they charge them to me. But because on the rates sort of database, it's just one big business. There's 40 businesses who should get 10 grand a pop. No one gets anything. So there's a lot of people in that sort of situation. Every bottle shop who's based in a market, like Hop Hideout, breweries like Round Corner. There's a lot of messaging me about the same thing because I'm kind of kicking off a storm about Twitter on it, trying to kind of lobby my MP, lobby the government and the local council to kind of do something about it. But there's a lot of people who caught on loopholes who won't get any financial support other than furloughing employees, which is good. But also you need cash in the bank to pay your suppliers. Otherwise, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I think we mentioned it the other day. There's going to, for every brewery that will probably come out of this all right, there's going to be a few that is going to fall through the cracks, and just as obviously pubs and bars as well. Who I guess with breweries they can, like you said, they can think ahead, and you can put stuff in tanks now or whatever, or try and do stuff that will come out 6 months time that you can age a little bit. Whereas pubs and bars are just going to be
a lot of their stock they've bought will be out of date by the time it reopens again, especially the super happy IPAs, the stuff they're paying kind of big bucks for, they want to get a return on. They can't anymore. So where does that credit fall? Who does it get returned to the distributor? Does it get returned to the brewery? There's a lot of things that I don't know enough about.
Yeah.
How this is all going to happen. Distributors have been hit really hard, I think, because they're holding stock. If all their stock goes out of date in 3 months' time, and this lockdown lasts 3 months' time, all the stuff they've invested in, they can't sell.
Yeah.
But there's another question coming from Simon Carbon or Simone Carbon, where it's based.
Sorry, see Reece doing Ross's job here, going through the questions.
Yeah, because if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? So.
Exactly.
On time.
Tom. Gypsy Hill still brewing Northern Hellas. Yes, they are, for a small pack and London keg. So I went down a few times, brewed it there, and then now they kind of rinse and repeat. So my kind of lactic culture that is in Hellas and Big Foam and normal lagers also lives down there in separate containers. Then that gets kind of kept alive and then used in those batches. So all the small packets done there because their canning line is really good quality. I can get consistent results, much better than I can at my brewery. And then that gets distributed nationwide and then keg only for London. Every other keg outside of London is from my gaff in Hartlepool, unfortunately.
So what are you doing day to day now then? Are you still going in, brewing every day?
Turns out, when people order online and it comes through my phone, like every time someone orders, it goes ding. I'm like, yes, get in, thank you. Then you have to then I'm like really excited when it all comes in when I'm sat there drinking beer. Then I forget I have to go and pick and pack the orders and take them to parcel force and put the labels on. And it takes me all day. So I'm just picking and packing orders. I've got a couple of brews coming up, as I said, and then otherwise, kind of just playing Call of Duty, drinking loads of wine.
Is that the free Call of Duty you've been playing?
Yeah, the Warzone one.
Yeah, I hear it's good.
Last night it was me and 8 of my mates on Call of Duty. Like, if you'd have told me that last year, I wouldn't have believed you. That's like a 2013 sort of scenario going on.
I was going to say, I wish I had 8 mates.
I wish you weren't a mate.
Well, I'm quite touched now. You consider me to be one.
So how's the how did the Space Raiders come into Donzoko's life? It seems like you're more of a quick seller.
It was part of like the whole thing of I didn't want to undercut my retailers. I wanted to make buying 12-pack of Hellers from me as like add a bit of value. So you get some crap crisps with every order. So you can get Transformer snacks, you get Frazzles, you get sometimes Monster Munch, chipsticks. Who knows?
I think they're the best crisps though. Surely, like the naffer they are, they're probably the better chemically. Probably not.
They've all got MSG in them. They just say like monosodium glutamate in the back. They're not shy of it. And I respect that massively.
I mean, there's quite a controversial tweet you put out a few days ago where you called Monster Munch Tory Space Raiders. Can you?
Munch of Space Raiders for Tories.
But are Monster Munch the feet or the actual monsters? That's the important question all right now.
Obviously the feet, because there's a picture of the monster on the pack.
No, it's just the monster's head and the arms and legs. Like,
I'm not that familiar with Monster Munch lore, and how deep that goes.
Into the product that you're selling. These rustic crisps that you're selling out of. What are you drinking now? Still big fun.
I'm drinking a Burning Sky Indecision Time 692.
Nice.
So I'm guessing that's a hop called 692 with from the hop breeding company. Smells absolutely banging.
I had the Out of Vogue the other day. It's fucking amazing.
I've got one in the fridge.
As West Coast IPAs go, I know there's none about now apparently, but that one's pretty good.
I've heard some really good things about the new Burnt Mill double one. It's clear and it's like 8 odd %. It looks great.
We've got another question now. Gary Dyke says, "What pH targets does Reece aim for in mash, boil, pre and post ferment for his lagers?"
I don't know. It's a Sunday, but so different on different beers. So all my beers have malactic culture in. That gets added at mash and also at flame out. Because
you're always going to have the same pH at the beginning.
No, so everyone has a different pH target, and the purport. I also add lactic acid as well.
Right.
Add my stuff in different proportions depending on the beer. So my lactic acid, which I make from wort, has a much stronger flavor. More, like the guy from Braybrook said, it tastes like pineapple juice. And it's really tropical, really intense and citrusy. It tastes like a really nice hoppy kettle sour almost, although there's no hops in it. Really weird. So I use that in, for example, Big Foam has a lot less lactic acid in and much more of my like kind of bioacid, like fermented wort in. So Hellas has more lactic acid in, so I don't want as strong of a tang. Whereas Big Foam, I want tangy as possible, really. So I use, I aim for pHs in Hellas. I let the pH ride a little high in the mash at like 5.35. I kind of shoot for. Obviously, I miss because I'm not very good brewer. And then in the mash, and then about as normal. There's not that many bittering hops in Helles, so I don't worry about shifting the pH down in the kettle. Usually, you'd aim for a lower pH to make the hops a bit more smoother, a bit less rough bitterness. But there's no hops in there, so I let it the pH ride a little high, so that there's more kind of caramelization in the wort, more kind of Maillard reactions, which happen at the higher pH. And then just before I flame out hops, I drop the pH down to like 5.2, 5.1 ish with my lactic acid. So I get the benefits of having a higher pH for kind of wort caramelization, then drop it down to make the flame out hops a bit smoother kind of bitterness. So I went really far into that. And Big Foam just has a lot more acid in it, really.
Can you explain why it's a rustic lager? I know you got into a nice argument about it a few weeks ago.
Oh, I don't know. I just picked the word rustic because I thought it meant like disheveled, or like I thought it meant like kind of rough and ready, which what I wanted to be. It's like someone got into the socio-economic reasons of why I was using the word rustic, and I don't care. Like I'm not a marketing person. Like if you say to someone, like if you give someone a photo of a sourdough loaf and a loaf of water, which one looks more rustic? People will know that the sourdough loaf looks more rustic, right? So the same thing with this lager, like because it's unfiltered, because it's quite tangy and a bit hoppy. It's definitely less polished than Helles. I just kind of want to put that across with the least wanky words as I could use. Rustic fit the bill. So don't like it. I'm so sorry.
Definition of rustic, just like from the country.
Yeah, and also a spelting, and the spelt farm I use is about half a mile from the brewery.
Yeah,
Franklin Co. So I get the spelt from that farm. So it's nice I use some from the local area as well, because half the time beer you're about using hops from New Zealand, yeast from Switzerland, like it's not really local. Apparently, you can hear someone playing Legend of Zelda in the background. Who's that?
that's my wife Phoebe playing Zelda. I did tell her to go to another room, but everyone can hear you, and the comments on it. So well done for embarrassing me.
Hi, Phoebe.
So Beer Fan is asking a question. What's your favourite lager in the world outside of your own? His favourite is Schlenkerla.
Ooh, the Schlenkerla is banging. It's like a little bit more.
The other day, yeah. I didn't realise they did it until I obviously come across it. It's like, oh, that worked really well.
Yeah, it's got the little bit of smoke kind of makes the hops pop a bit more and the malt pop a bit more. It's like just like a bit of contrast. It's so nice. Bang, that's really good beer.
Are we going to get a smoked Northern Helles?
Nah.
Well, Pete Marshall's asked, can we expect a smoked Marsden at some point?
That would sound good, but also no one buys them. I'm sorry, but like you might like it, I might like it, but no one else is going to buy it. And that, like, because I'm still quite small, that is still a thing playing in my mind. Is someone going to buy this when I brew something? But my favorite lager, probably Augustina, on draft. In bottle, it's sometimes a bit old, and sometimes not as poppy. On draft in Germany, probably as just a go-to. There's a brew pub in Munich owned by Paulaner called the Paulaner Brauhaus. It's like near the Oktoberfest kind of area, and they used to have a kind of a brewmaster there who did a Zwickel lager. It's like an unfiltered Helles sort of thing, unfiltered lager, and it was absolutely banging. And I went back, and they've got a new brewer there, and it didn't taste very good.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite beer ever. So that was the beer I tried to just remember how it tasted and copy and make Helles, Northern Helles.
Have you
just
been
kind of plagiarized their beer?
all these like breweries and like kind of bars and that you used to go to in Germany? Have you been back to them since setting up as Donzoko?
To be honest, I didn't visit that many breweries in Munich. I was working up there in a university, a lab. So it was pretty long days. And then when I finished, I just wanted to drink like bottles of Augustina in a park in the English Garden in Munich, which is like a big inner city park. And that's kind of the. I would say drinking in Germany isn't about hunting out all these breweries as much as it's just enjoying good beer in kind of nice beer gardens and parks, and that's what I like about German beer. Is not the kind of ticking different breweries and different bars. It's just like having a quality beer bought for 60 cents from the supermarket.
Oh yeah, no, but my question was more on the idea of would they still stand up to what you remember them being like when you were there? Because obviously you talk quite fondly of that Fickle beer that you used to get.
Well, when I first moved to Germany, I was brewing IPAs at home, a lot of them, and I wasn't really fussed on the lagers, to be honest. For the first 2 months I lived there, I was like, yeah, they're good, but they're just kind of just lager in it. Like I was hankering for like an IPA. And then after, when you palate adjusts, and like 2 months later, you realize this Pilsner is really hoppy. This Helles is really, the malt character is really bright. That's when like I got to appreciate them a lot more. I've been back, and because I drink a lot more lager now, I definitely appreciate it even more so, if you know what I mean, having those on my doorstep.
Setu Stain One asked, "What's your favorite UK lager? UK made lager?" Like it seems to the last few years, like with yourself and obviously Cloudwater and have done a lot of lagers and Brewerbrook and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
it's changed a lot of last few years. We're getting quality stuff. What's your kind of go-to lagers that are brewed in the UK?
well, I live in Middlesbrough, which doesn't get a lot of craft beer in it. So I don't drink that many craft lagers, to be honest. But when I go out and I see one, the ones are really like Cloudwater do some really good lagers. Absolutely banging. They make a lot of them as well, a lot of different varieties. A lot of breweries that make lagers might make 2 or 1. Cloudwater do like all the different lagers, which is nice. I really like Keller Pils. It's really good. Like probably the best lager I drank last year was Keller Pils from the brewery, and it was from the kegging line. There's I've got a little like sample tap on the kegging line.
Nice.
It was like 11 a.m. and they brought a beer, but I took a sip and I was like, it's gone. It was so good. But you don't get much Keller Pils up here. Brewerbrook Keller Lager is really good. Completely different beer, but absolutely banging. The yeast is so characterful, so bready. Using that Mars brown yeast. But again, you don't really get it up here, so I don't really drink it that much.
Could you tell us about your Brewerbrook collab then? Because I want to get a bottle of it now. Because that came out like I said last few weeks. Could you talk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, so we did the Mega Lager collab with Lost and Grounded and Brewerbrook, kind of like autumn time last year, end of summer, and that was a fest beer, and it was really, really good. But this time I met Mario from Brewerbrook as well, and we thought, as kind of really small lager producers, let's do another lager. Their run is quite small, about 10 hectoliters. So I thought, yeah, that'd be good to experiment. We'll do a Vienna lager. So I'd done a pale ale last year called Afterglow, which is 100% Vienna malt, pretty much in some oats, but 100% Vienna malt as a kind of a barley base. The environment of Vienna gives a really nice kind of doughy character. So as the Mega Lager was a little bit roastier, a little more Munich character. This wanted to be just Vienna with a little bit of caramel Munich at the end. So it went down to Brewerbrook, which is kind of near Market Harbour. Drove down there, stayed at Mario's. We had a couple of beers, and we kind of planned what we wanted. You get the hops direct from Germany, from a farm in Tettnang. So we used Tettnang hops, and they smelled out the bag like insane. You could use them in an IPA. Like I was really kind of amazed at how good they smell, especially when a lot of German hops you get from the UK come through like some processing and usually don't smell that good. This was completely different. It smelled great. So we used those Tettnang hops that Graham Bell talked about. Brewerbrook also did cocktail their beers. So that involves boiling the mash, a portion of the mash, in this case 2 minutes. So that gives a nice kind of subtle kind of vanilla sort of smoothness that was really nice. And then just fermented low and slow with their house yeast for about a week, and then lagered for 30 days. And it's really simple, and it's considering all the shit I just talked about it. I've just been sinking 3 bottles a night playing Call of Duty, like straight from the bottle. It's just been so sinkable. It just tastes like if Brooklyn IPA was like a bit fresher, if you know what I mean. We get over here.
It's like it is way too easy to drink. Like I said, I've been doing the same, like going through like 2-3 bottles every night of it. Like it's at the weekend, and it's fucking really good.
Like that's all testament to Braybrook, really. Like when you go and do these away collabs, it's not really it's got my label on it, but it's really a Braybrook beer. They did all the work. I just went and like they're mostly Italian who work for Braybrook, so like they're going to cook like a proper carbonara. So they had some like guanciale, which is like cured pig jowl, and some fresh pasta, and we'll go get some eggs from the chickens on the farm. So we went down to the egg. Got the chicken hutch, chicken container, and I was like, they're all pretty still, like none of them are moving. And then I realized none of them had heads. Like a fox had been in and killed them all.
Oh shit!
Oh fuck!
Yeah, it was a really dark morning, but luckily some had laid some eggs before they died. So we used those
Out of terror.
So
we used those eggs to make this delicious carbonara, which we had with some Brewer Keller Lager, and it was like that pint of Keller Lager was like the best beer I've had this year, hands down. It was banging.
Wow!
And then you had roast chicken the next day.
Yeah, it was pretty grim. I felt like I was an episode of Taggart.
The famous chicken murders on Taggart. I remember that episode. How is it compared to your setup then? Like the Braybrook place looks amazing, like you said, and they can just nip down and go to their murdered chickens and that. Like, what's your setup like in Hartlepool?
Absolute chaos. It's an absolute ramshackle mess, but it makes all right beer, which is I'm happy with. So what I do is, I think I was playing this before, but I brew on someone else's kit. So in this case, I'm currently brewing at Hayden New Border, which is a great cask brewery up, just kind of east of Newcastle, like near the Metro Centre. I go there with mate Rogers, the head brewer there. We've brewed hella so many times there now. We just kind of make the wort there. Everything's kind of runs like clockwork now. We pump the wort into 1,000-litre bags in boxes. Then I got because we do 3,500-litre batches. And the guy with a flatbed comes, and we load those onto the flatbed. And then we drive them to my gaff, where there's like 60 hec of like lager fermentation space. That gets fermented, conditioned, and then packaged on site, and then sent around. So it means I've just got fermenters and a cold store. I've kind of maxed out all my space currently. I've got another 60 hec of space for. So hec is like hectoliters or 100 liters. So 6,000 liters of space for like sour beers and mixed ferment beers to be going on with as well. So I've kind of maxed out all that space with my cold store. So it's pretty full. I need to move, but I'm glad I didn't move 2 months ago, as I said.
Yeah, it's true. Jonathan Davis of Corn fame asks, as most of the big German lager breweries bottle, why did you decide to go for cans?
There's a kind of thing in Germany that cans are seen as cheap. They're seen as like what cheap beer comes in. It comes in cans because they're cheap at ship. In Germany, cans get a higher deposit rate of like 25 cents. So a bottle you pay, I think it's like 8 cents on a bottle deposit. On a can you pay 25 cents. So it suddenly becomes a bit more of a money thing, as you have to keep the can and recycle it. Whereas kind of if you leave your bottle around for someone to collect, or if you leave it, I don't know, if you forget to recycle it, it's only 8 cents. 25 cents is a bit more of a deal if you buy a 20 case. I guess, I don't know. It's kind of a cultural thing. It was in the UK, kind of cans give you a lot more space for labels, which I feel is important now. Especially if you're a brand new brand, you need to shout about it a lot more. There's a lot of brewers in the UK. and people almost expect a small lager producer to produce in bottles. I didn't produce any small pack for the first year that I brewed because I couldn't get the. I didn't want to try cans until I perfected it in keg first. So it was a lot of tweaking in of Helles and keg before I moved to can. And also, like, just cracking open a couple of cans, like, it's great. You can just slot one in your bag and go for a walk and crack open a can on a hill you walk to, or with some mates in a park or on a field somewhere. Like,
it's a bit lighter to carry as well. If you've got a 6-pack, it's a bit nicer when it's 6 cans rather than fucking 6 bottles or whatever.
Oh, for sure. And shipping it's better. The lighter, like, the difference of a pallet of cans versus a pallet of bottles, and just in terms of weight, is pretty mental.
What's your take on drinking straight out of the can then? Is because these days if you craft, you've got to have a nice fancy glass. You got to post the picture and check the, transparency or haziness of the beer. Like,
what about? It kind of depends on the beer, to be honest. Like, and if you're just like finishing work and you want to drink straight from the can, I'm not going to tell you not to. Like, you do you. Like, it does look a bit nice to drink it from a glass, I guess. But, like, I've been drinking the Bremen beer straight from the bottle, so I'm a bit of a Philistine.
So what have you been doing besides beer stuff then? I know everyone seems to be doing fucking sourdough loaves and pizzas and shit like that. Like, are you exactly...
Mate, a sourdough pizza proving downstairs.
Where did this sourdough thing come from? Like,
no one's got now else to do, so might as well make some bread.
You like bread? What's your fucking problem, Ross?
Yeah, I like normal bread. I like macro bread, like Warburton and shit like that. None of this posho sourdough.
Breadist.
But like, you fucking pickle stuff though, so you're just as bad.
Someone asked if I'd make a soft serve lager. That's a really hard no. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I'm glad that you didn't even have to think about that question.
If you make and pour a lager properly, you should have a lovely soft serve, fluffy meringue head on top of it anyway. So,
how about a radler? Someone just asked, with the most convoluted name ever, would you ever do a radler?
Radlers are banging. Like, a lot of people have a bit of like, oh, it's just a soft drink. Yeah, but soft drinks are great. Like, I love Dr. Pepper. I love San Pellegrino.
Yeah, okay. Before we continue this, favorite soft drink?
Dr. Pepper. Hands down. I'll never make a beverage as good as Dr. Pepper makes his beverage. He's got a PhD in flavor.
In that case, you think you're going to do like a Morello Cherry Radler?
If I was going to do a Radler, which I've actually thought about doing, because especially at Gypsy Hill, we talked about maybe doing some pasteurization, so I could get like real fruit, like real lemons, and make a really good quality lemonade. And then obviously I've got Helles and Tank anyway, and just blend it to it tastes like. If it tastes good, I could just do big tall boys of Radler. Like, what's the love, really?
Yeah, Schofferhofer's untouchable. They're grapefruit Radler.
But Schofferhofer is like, I'm going to get political here. It's made by Dr. Oetker, the guy who makes the pizzas. Like, you follow the chain up, it's Dr. Oetker at the top.
Right.
And it's just like colouring and flavouring and like.
Yeah, but so are so many IPAs.
Yeah, it's true. But they're all trash as well, so that's what I'm saying. It's like,
there is crushed insects in Schofferhofer grapefruit, though. That's how they get the colour. They crush insects.
Apparently they've stopped that.
Oh, have they? Oh, so it's vegan now then.
They used to have the crushed beetles in them, I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
That give the red colour.
What's your favourite soft drink then, Tom, since you were asking all the big questions today?
Big fan of root beer.
Oh, fuck off.
Go right.
Root beer. You and your fucking pickled veg and your sourdough and your root beer. Like, what a fucking asshole, man. Jesus. Kicking your wife out of the room.
Alienate all our audience.
Fuck them. Sourdough, what's the point? Have a nice loaf of Warburtons, mate, and get a Dr. Oetker pizza. None of this fucking bullshit.
I'm a Goodfellas man myself. They make the best pizzas.
Oh, the Goodfellas vegan pizzas. Fucking jackfruit pizzas, really nice.
Mr. Jonathan Hamilton said, "Shop off a Radler is the worst. Make a Shandy Bass clone. Shandy Bass is top tier, but also I'd suggest even higher is Aldi's own Shandy Panache. Comes in a little stubbies, little glass stubbies. They're basically free. They're so cheap, and because they're so small, like straight out of the fridge, they're never more than ice cold. And the Shandy Panache, it's got the best name, Panache.
Is it what the runaway one's
I
called?
like that panache.
Panache.
Like you get to Aldi and you can't find them. You're like, "Excuse me, sir, do you have any of your Shandy Panache?"
It adds a flavour to it. Adds an extra something to it.
Like if you don't do the hand, you're never finding it.
So besides Call of Duty and sourdough, what have you been doing to fill your isolation station?
Isolation inspiration station. I've
Get
got to bottle some more raspberry mixed saison on Tuesday. It's gonna be pretty fun. The cherry mixed saison I've got is currently pediosic, so it's like literally the whole tank of beer is turned to jelly, like really thick, like the consistency of like shower gel. And that's just a phase it will go through, and then it'll turn normal again. But I was gonna bottle that this week, but nah.
How's your? So can you explain the Ferrari gear behind as well, if people have noticed that? I assume, I hope Donzoko's doing well, but I didn't know a well enough way you'd be rocking Ferrari gear.
Like my mum's cousin works for Ferrari, like what he used to in F1, and he was like Felipe Massa's signature there. It was his race engineer, so I get loads of free shite. So this is a room full of free Ferrari shite. I've got all sorts.
I guess Donzoko logos on Ferrari next season.
Yes,
that's the goal.
Reece's face like that on the side of the car,
flying around the circuit.
My good friend Lee Hodson says he's been rocking Ferrari gear since secondary school non-uniform days. And yeah, if I had my uniform on, I was rocking Ferrari. Everyone thought it was fake. Nah. Appreciate it.
Would you just walk around with Ferrari jackets on around Hartlepool, just like swinging fake keys?
Yeah, not in Hartlepool, but in Middlesbrough maybe. What should I drink next? Wine or beer? Comment below.
Pet nat. Pet nat.
I've got a pet nat downstairs, but currently I've got Ruh from Finnegan Wines.
Is he rough?
Wine, but I was meant to go on quite a few like festivals abroad in the next couple of months, and they've all been cancelled. So to make myself feel better, I bought lots of wine, wine and cider. There's like different boozes I would normally purchase to try and expose myself to them.
We've got 2 votes, and one is for wine and one is for beer. So
it's wine time.
Well, if you're cracking that, I'm going to get another drink.
So
I'll have a beer first. That's probably more sensible.
You got to drink your own beer. You got to promote the brand.
Yeah, what do you want?
Where can people buy all these lovely beers, by the way?
So you can go to the Donzoko and Friends website, which is donzoko.org/shop. You've got all my wares on there. So from Tuesday, we'll be doing the big phone pre-orders. There's Hellas cases, there's salami, copper ham, and 2 flavors of tea, some local coffee, obviously the t-shirts. If you want to buy some stuff, that'd be great. If not, that's cool. It's tough time for people, I guess.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people getting full-on orders of just meat and beer and space faders. So obviously, it seems to be going all right. Like last few weeks, at least.
Yeah, it's been going great. I can't complain. Obviously, it's a tough time for people. So if people want to buy some beer from me, that's great. I really appreciate it. But equally, pretty much everyone's on 80% pay. So people don't want to spend a splash on beer. It's a luxury at the end of the day. So if they don't want it, that's cool.
So what have you been drinking besides Braybrook Collab and stuff and a bit of wine. I've seen you've been cracking open a few Oliver's bottles.
Yeah, Oliver Cider. I put an order with them in, and it's been really nice. Like, I've not really drunk much cider, to be honest, other than Strongbow dark fruits, which I'm a stan account of dark fruits. But yeah, they've been really nice, especially like because the level of duty is a bit lower on cider. Like, you get some really good quality beverages for like a really decent price as well. Like a bottle of Oliver's from the website, like bottle conditioned medium or bottle conditioned dry, is like £7.50. Like for a 750 ml. Like for a drink of that quality, it's really good value.
What you
have been a bit, some of them have been a bit explosive.
Yeah, I saw you yesterday.
With care.
What are you drinking, Tom?
If you like to look closely, that is a cask. Cask in my backyard. So
it's always one of it.
I feel sorry for
Look
you,
at him, Mr. Big Cask.
peasants who can't afford your own cask in your garden.
Wait, do you pay for it? You fucking is it not?
No, I got it for free. It was out of date.
Yeah, you bastard.
Yeah, I've got 2 gravity casks of Big Storm in the cold store, and another month and they're going to go out of date. So like, gonna have some one-man garden parties.
Nice.
It's because sunbathing, everyone else seems to be. So take it down the park and crack it open.
Also, comment below what's your favorite crap crisp. I'd really like to know.
Kate Blaszczak said flying saucers before.
They're not crisps. They're like weird paper things.
Where do we stand on Scampi fries?
No.
Yes, but they're not crap. See, like they're like behind the bar pub snacks. They're kept up there with whiskey. They're like
the banging. I got a B&M down my road and I picked up a 6-pack of them. Like when I got my cask, I just sat and drank cask and ate Scampi fries all afternoon. It was fucking
Tangy Toms.
You are?
Yeah.
Tangy Toms. They're great.
Yeah.
Beef Space Raiders.
You get the vote from Phoebe for
that. God tier is Beef Space Raiders. They're like the best crap crisp.
I'd say Skips are a crap crisp, and they're great. They're like melted tongue.
Well, Craft not be the little pretzel pieces as well. No, like the jalapeno pretzel pieces.
That's quite expensive though.
Yeah, but it's Craft, isn't it?
They're a premium products. It's not crap. We're talking about like.
Oh wait, you guys are saying crap. I'm saying Craft.
All right. Same thing.
Yeah. Oh crap! I don't know then. I don't eat cheap crisps.
Oh, Kate's saying flying saucers are better than crisps, which I do not agree at all.
No.
No, a flying saucer is not like Skips.
Yeah, like
flying saucers are like the sherbet boils.
They just melt in your mouth like straight away, but it tastes like plastic when they melt in your mouth. It's disgusting.
Right. Fair.
Chipsticks, I think, are the best crap crisp, as well as Space Raiders beef.
I love how chipsticks have been like the reasons to be cheerful. The bar in Burnage in Manchester's like unofficial mascot for like 2 years.
Yeah, the little the coasters got made.
Yeah, just pictures of chipsticks.
They're classic of the genre.
We've been talking about smoked beers, but we're not talking about a smoked crisp like Frazzle's bacon crisps.
Oh, they're great.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, apparently they make your piss smell like bacon, but that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
No.
Apparently, Mr. Jonathan Hamilton said, "Hey, Reece-topher, aka Donzoko, have you ever had the pleasure of trying Victory from Pills? Your boy Alex Delaney from Bon Appetit just did a piece on how it's a favourite piece. I have had Cream of Pills from Asda, and I don't think it's very fresh. It was very good. It's like 6.5%.
I know the one. Yeah,
it was really hoppy, but like wasn't very fresh. I think America likes to do high ABV lagers, like the Lagunitas Pilsner is like 7%, something really high, like it's really strong.
Reece Ferrari hat's gone viral already, mate. It's all over Twitter.
Oh, fuck's sake. It's signed, that bad boy. Gonna buy it. Please put a bid. in the comments below. And
Lewis Hamilton drinking Northern Hellas.
there's been no celebrities drinking Hellas other than Jay Rayner has drunk the Mega Lager, and the last from 10 Things I Hate About You.
Because it was on Sunday brunch.
Yeah, the last from 10 Things I Hate About You was drunk Hellas.
Nice.
Did she like it?
She loved it. She said it was the best one.
She loved it. Great.
Who else is going to watch 10 Things I Hate About You now after this?
It's Kaylee's favourite film. It's a terrible film.
It's great.
Right.
What's the woman's name? What's the actor? What's the actor's name? Comment below.
What's the name called? Julia or Julian or something?
Julia Stiles.
Julian Stiles?
Yeah, Julia Stiles.
Julia Stiles. Okay.
There you go. Catch up, Ross.
Try and see what else she's been in.
Northern Chapters, commented below.
I know. Yes, but what's your plans for the next few weeks then? What's the coming time for Donzoko?
I'm doing one beer release a month. So obviously Big Foam, and then a new beer, which I'll give you a hint of what it's called now. So I mentioned that I like drinking beer in the English Garden in Munich. That's like a really good memory for me. So I thought about a couple of weeks ago, like, what's the ideal beer I'd want to drink in the English Garden? And that's like a 3.5% kind of session lager. So I thought I'll make one of them. Called English Garden. Then also, I heard on the grapevine from a friend at Boxcar, Sam. He did a collab with Mills, which is the best bitter. They used English hops from a supply called Brookhouse, who just installed a pelletizer on a farm in like Surrey or Kent. So English hops are really, really good, really flavorful, really fruity, but the processing of them has been lackluster for quite a while. So you get kind of vegetal and tired flavors, but they said the hops he got from this supplier tasted really fruity and like punchy and upfront. So I'm going to do a English hopped session lager with like those hops.
Nice.
At like 3.5%. Call it English Garden. So I've been working with my designer on the label and going to brew it Thursday.
Oh, nice.
From
Boxcar and Mills was really good.
Yeah,
I've not tried it. I really want to, but what was the hop character like on it?
It was really upfront. Like nothing kind of stands out as much as you'd expect of like Citra and stuff. But you definitely had it was. I'd say it was like good Cascade. Like when you got UK Cascade going well, it's kind of in that ballpark.
The best beer I had at Indie Man 2 years ago was Colonel Table Beer, dropped with like wet Bramlin Cross, so straight from the farm on harvest.
Yeah,
and that was absolutely great. It was so like blackcurrant, strawberry, like those big berry flavors. So I'm gonna need Bramlin Cross and First Gold, which gives a nice apricot woody thing.
Yeah.
Because in lagers, because you've got such a plain base, you can kind of let things pop above them. The flavors that usually be would be covered by the yeast, like subtle hop flavors, come to the fore. So you can use subtle hops and get bigger flavors. So I'll be using those hops, which are usually quite subtle. Hopefully, they might be quite a bit punchy in kind of a 3.5% session, easy drinking lager. And that's what people want right now, I think. They want something low ABV that can crack on the evening. That's not going to ruin the night. It's going to be like 3.5%. So that'll be released kind of mid-May.
Is this lager going to have your new logo on it? The whole drink lager, be kind.
Nah, it's going to have a little, like what I do a really crap drawing on Instagram of the can and what I want it to look like. And I sent it to my designer, who's actually talented. And I made Sean, he designs the label. And then I send it on. So it'll just be a picture of the English Garden, an illustration, I believe.
What was the idea behind the Northern Hellas like artwork then? Because it's pretty like simple in a good way. Like it's not over the top or anything like that. But like, what were you thinking of when you designed the can for that?
So, like the can design was one of the first things we did. So even though I didn't release cans for the first kind of year, it was
You don't know what
design a can and then design the pump clip and everything else from that. I feel like that's quite important to do, to kind of get the kind of design guidelines straight out of like, this is what the can will look like, so this is what the pump clip's like, and it all links together. Because like, I want it to be accessible. First thing was accessibility. So like, if you were to bring your dad in to the pub and he'd do me like craft beer, you could see that was a lager. That was something that was like probably up the street. They'd give it a try. And then just to be clean, like kind of German inspired. So the Donzoko logo, the typeface is very kind of Bavarian and kind of oldie wordy, like Hansel and Gretel. But everything else about the design is very clean, very industrial, to try and like not become just a Germany thing, become its own thing.
You didn't want to look like a German rip-off, like try and do like an Augustina Helles type thing where you're like holding next to a barrel, holding a pewter mug or whatever. Like
the thing is that's been done since lager was a thing.
Yeah.
So like since like lager was created, a lot of English companies just took on German branding and kind of sold it on as that. Whereas I wanted to have kind of its own thing, but recognizing I'm using a lot of German shit in it.
Cool. Right, I think we're going to end in like next 5 minutes. If anyone's got any more questions for Reece, we'll try and fit him in for the next 5 minutes, and then we'll kind of kick it to an end. I think this video is going to be up on YouTube for the future. I don't think we said anything that bad, but we have to edit it, so it should be all right. But
yeah, I've got 5 minutes to get something in.
So what? Over the wine, lads.
Oh shit!
It's a fizzy boy. Didn't expect that.
Nice.
What percentage is it?
10.5. I always laugh quite a lot when you hear of like, oh, we've used 250 gram a litre of fruit in this beer. Like, well, what do you reckon they use in wine? More than 250 gram a litre. That's great.
What have you been doing then, Tom? What's been filling your isolation time with?
Just been baking a lot of sourdough and
pickling a lot.
Pickling? No, I've not done that. I did some beer bread the other week.
Like a chocolate cake, though.
Yeah, well, I used the Ben Nevis stout. Not the one we brewed up on Ben Nevis, but the rebrew. Just poured all that in, mixed some flour with it, stuck it in the oven. That's it. And that came out great. But I've actually been doing a lot of cider. I've currently got 3 demijohns of Bretted cider, kind of conditioning away under my stairs. I just bottled a Graf, which was 1/3 non-boiled Eternal Wort, 1/3 second runnings Eternal Wort, 1/3 apple juice with a farmhouse kind of Brett blended yeast. That's all like bottled and conditioning. And this morning I've just made a pineapple cider using Kvik yeast.
Nice.
Do you think you get some bugs from the unboiled Eternal Wort?
Yeah, well, he's not in here, but John Shackleton, long time like beer friend and that from Manchester. He's out in Korea now, but he's been like a very influential person and to me, like around sour beers, and he always swore by doing like raw kind of IPAs to get a nice sour IPA. So no boil, take it up to about 80, and that's it, and then just away with it. And like tasting it before bottle conditioning it had a real nice sour note to it. No noticeable infection, just maybe if anything a little acetic, but all the sour and like the actual apple flavors spot on. So as soon as that gets some carb from the secondary condition, I reckon pretty banging.
Noah's asked Reece if you could tell us a little bit more about your sour stuff that you're doing.
So far, I've just been kind of trying like figure out what I want to do with it. To be honest, like try different things, see what sticks. So I've released a Flanders Red about 18 months ago. That was fermented in so with a local ale yeast from my lactoculture, some Brett in a puncheon that previously held Jennifer. So I was using that for a while. That turned out really good. I've got this new project with the mixed firm kind of saison that was aged on fruit. I wanted that to be really easy drinking fruit with saison. So that's getting bottled on Tuesday, as I keep saying. Corked and caged. I've got this mixed firm lager, which is I'm excited to see what that turns out like. I've had a few that I've enjoyed. Tired Hands do one called Prayer Group, which is the best beer I tried last year, pretty much. It's really good. That's a lager aged in Fuda with lemons. Really nice.
That was something I was going to ask earlier. Obviously, you're doing a lot more kind of sour-based, like long-term projects, especially having all this extra time on your hands. But have you thought about doing more kind of sour-based lagers? Like I know Threes from New York have had their Fuda Age lager. Obviously, that's not really soured, but that Fuda Age in it is giving it an extra level of character. As well as, like you mentioned, Tire Hands, like the Wicker Circle or whatever it is. It's like a Fuda Age, kind of like slightly soured because of all the bacteria that have been in the Fuda previously, like black lager.
Yeah.
Are you kind of going to try that with any of like your Northern Hellas or Big Foam, maybe?
So I've tried that with Hellas. I've moved it into tanks and barrels to try that with. What I like about those beers is because of the lower temperature, they're not lagers really. They're just mixed firm saisons or mixed firm beers that kind of have the drinkability of a lager.
Yeah.
Because the temperature isn't so high, the lacto can't really work as much. So a lot of American sours are tasty but too sour, too acidic. Kind of a good mixed firm lager for me. A mixed firm lager should be like drinkable as a lager. You can have a pint of it. But it's complex and it's got some mixed firm character there, some kind of depth. So I've tried that. I've got that with the Hellas at the moment. Now I've got this Spelt Saison I'm brewing on Wednesday, which is going to be aged on propped up lees from English wine, English natural wine, English cider. It's kind of an alternative sauce and bugs. Just kind of prop them up.
Nice.
See what it tastes like. Yeah, it's about at the moment. It's just an experiment. It's not good to have a scale that I can put it on the drain.
Yeah.
It's kind of but once I get something that works good for me, I might kind of build it up a bit and try and get more out there. Like if you look at Colonel, I went round Colonel a few months ago. It was excellent, and they kind of just produce beer to saison, and that's their technique, their process, their bugs that work for them to produce that one beer, and that gets blended in on all different fruits, and they're all delicious. For me, it's about trying and finding the process and culture that works for me. That is great, and I can use it in different processes.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm trying to do at the moment. Is try lots of different stuff, see what sticks. So I've got like 3 or 4. Well, I've got 4 different things with different cultures, different methods going on at the moment to see what kind of works, and they'll all be released if they're good enough in the next year. Kind of, I like those quick turnaround kind of mixed down projects that are like 3 months, just because they're a bit fresher. Like,
yeah,
Vision from Burning Sky it's not that old, but it's absolutely delicious. Like better than some things, some breweries releasing that are 2 years old. If you know what I mean. I like that fresh character.
Yeah, cool. Right, I think we'll cut it there. Then that's 70 minutes, so I think we've done all right there. So where can people buy Helles and the Braybook Club and all that good stuff?
Donzoko.co.uk/shop.
Sick. Cheers, Reece. Thanks for chatting to us.
Cheers, Tom and Ross.
Hopefully, we'll try and do a few more of these over the next like month or so, whatever this long. We'll try and get a few more interviews in.
Aye.
that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Go and buy some Donzoko beer and go and watch 10 Things I Hate About You as well.
Let's camp the pub when it's finished.
Yes, please.
Bacon fries are on me.
See you.
Peace.
Ciao.